Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Next Perfect Step, where all possibilities lie in conversation. I'm your co host, Laurie Mullen.
I'm your co-host, Kim McStay, and this podcast is a platform where people can come and share their thoughts thoughtfully and safely and maybe learn some stuff.
Hi, I'm your co-host Laurie Tremblay, and we are all spiritual teachers and energy workers, and we're happy to have a guest with us today, Kisha Reynolds. She's from Philadelphia, and she is a certified clinical hypnotherapist with wonderful work. Her website is 321 Deep.
Yep, that's it. 321 Deep Sleep. Hypno
Yes.
321 Deep Sleep. .com.
Yes. So welcome. We're happy to have you. And could you just tell us a little bit about yourself and your work?
Okay, sure. Well, thank you. My name is Kisha Reynolds, and I'm here because I am a certified clinical hypnotherapist. And the way I kind of came to that is when I was very young, I went through a period of time in my life where I was bullied as a kid, like around 6 years old. And as a result of that, I developed body focused repetitive behaviors. And they are basically what they are. They're used to do like self-regulating behaviors, but they are sit in a really a unique space between like habit, impulse control, and anxiety, kind of related behaviors. So what ended up happening was many years went by. Actually, the term body focused repetitive behaviors was not coined until the mid 90s. So all before that, there was really nothing to kind of tell me what was going on. And it was made for a pretty, kind of an interesting but difficult, childhood, just not understanding why I was doing the things that I was doing. It first started out with me doing like pervasive nail biting. And then as I got into my adolescence, it kind of morphed into doing trichotillomania, which was the hair pulling. And typically, if these behaviors are not gotten a hold of, they tend to morph into other body focused repetitive behaviors. And typically, when you get them, they tend to be lifelong, but you do tend to kind of cycle in and out of them. More so what we could call, remission over the years. So this happened for me for about a good 35 years. And around 36th year, I wanted to kind of learn more about it and see what I could do in order to move past this, because there is no actual pill, that you can take to be able to get rid of this. There are things like, to be able to manage certain symptoms in terms of like anxiety or things of that sort. But outside of that, there is no actual pill to get rid of this in and of itself. So that's when I kind of got into hypnosis. And I went to HMI, which is Hypnosis Motivational Institute College of Hypnotherapy in Tarzana, California. And I completed their 2-year program. And at the end of that 2-year program, I came out with a certification in clinical hypnotherapy, in which I use that now to be able to help clients for a variety of different issues. One of the things that I will talk about, not just using it for helping people with body focused repetitive behaviors, but also people in the workplace, okay? People who may want to kind of get away from imposter syndrome, be able to go to that next chapter in their professional life. I've worked with students who want to help them be able to focus more when it comes to test time, okay? From there to even sports, people who play sports, athletes who want to be able to recognize that next play, be more agile, just being able to get their mind, prepared to be able to accept different things. So I use this in a number of different ways to be able to help people. And I find it to be very rewarding. It's always rewarding to see, one be able to, and through by doing this, because what hypnosis does, it really does rewire the mind. Okay. It creates new neural pathways, therefore allowing you to be able to move out negative, toxic ways of thinking and replacing that with good ways.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
So,
and what a supportive thing too. I mean, we all have those loops in our heads, those imposter syndromes, those loops that just won't stop. We can tell ourselves one thing over and over again, and yet it's still shouting in the background. So it's a wonderful way to just, bypass that. That's beautiful. Thank you.
Yes. And there's a reason why that our mind is like that. If you can think of a circle in the palm of your hand, just say there's a circle in the palm of my hand. Okay. The very bottom of that is what we call the primitive mind. So that's where those instincts like fight, flight, and freeze, that's where they're held. Okay. Now, right up above that, just imagine a larger part of the circle here. That's your subconscious mind. So your subconscious mind is made up of 88% of your mind. Okay, that's a huge percentage. And right up above that is a very small filter called the critical mind. Okay. And above that is your conscious mind or your conscious state, which is where we are now. So we know your conscious state as to be responsible for being able to logic, okay, reasoning, decision making, things of that sort. Okay. So that's made up of 12% of your mind. But again, as you can see, your subconscious is made up of 88%. So within the subconscious mind, we have what are known associations. So known associations are what we grow up knowing true to be about ourselves. Okay. For example, and I'm just going to just kind of get to use this as an example. For example, if you grow up feeling that you make the best lemon pie in the whole world, okay? And so later on, someone tries to change that and says, no, that you don't. That's not something that you would even really receive. It would never even go into your subconscious because you have grown up knowing and feeling like you make the best lemon pies in the world. And that could be from another sources. You may have had people tell you, throughout your life, oh my God, you make the best lemon pies in the whole world. Okay. And then you can taste yourself and you're like, oh, this is pretty good. I probably do make one of the best lemon pies. Okay. So what happens is that critical mind, which I mentioned before, it protects that. Okay. The whole sole job of the critical mind is to protect everything that is in your subconscious. Okay. The problem with that is the critical mind does not discern between healthy thoughts and negative ones. Okay. So if, just like I said, if someone tries to change your mind about something that you know to be true and that's positive and you don't accept it, the same thing is true about negative thoughts too. Because remember, the critical mind cannot discern between negative or positive. The sole job is just to protect what is inside your subconscious. So, what that plays out is if you come to believe that you are not enough, when you feel that way, okay, even when we try to tell ourselves, or if someone else tells you, oh, but you are enough. It's like logically, like you hear it, but it doesn't seem to always go through or to permeate. Okay. So that is what we call, those thoughts, those are called known associations, is how you've grown up to feel about yourself. And they can be either negative or positive. So in the traditional space of therapy, those negative thoughts, okay, those known associations are what a therapist will call distortions. Okay. So then it would be up to the therapist to be able to change those distortions. And typically that's in through by the waking state and getting the client or the patient to see that that's a distortion. It's kind of like an all or none way of thinking, and that getting to see that, they really are enough. Okay. The way that hypnotherapy works is we bypass that critical mind. Okay. When you are in hypnosis, the critical mind is offline. So it makes it easier because we don't have to battle with the critical mind. Okay. When you're in hypnosis, we are able to bypass it. And then we are able to then have an easier time with changing negative thought patterns into positive ones. And usually, a lot of times, both are great modalities of therapy that work wonderfully well as standalone. But they do really shine when you put the two together. I enjoy working with traditional, using traditional therapeutic models, be it dialectical behavioral therapy, CBT, HRT, and really putting a hypnotherapy spin, on it, or working with a therapist in the sense that they may be working and through the conscious state of waking state of where we are now, and then me kind of coming in on the back end and kind of helping with the subconscious state, and just really it brings like a two-prong approach, if you will.
Great. Kisha, I thank you for your explanation. That's very interesting and thorough. But I have a question. When you were talking about how the subconscious mind, it bypasses the critical mind, right? So when the behavior is dealt with through hypnosis, does it stay gone, or how does that work?
Well, it can stay gone, but it depends on how much work you kind of put into it as well. Okay. So hypnosis, it's like anything else. It's not like a one or done kind of process. It takes time. Okay. So just like with cognitive behavioral therapy, they have it where it takes about 8 weeks for this to be able to kind of take effect. I know a lot of that, was, tracked also in terms of with insurance and paying for it and all that. But when you're dealing with hypnotherapy, it's about the same. It's anywhere between 8 to 12 sessions, depending upon what you're doing. So, and what tends to quicken it and make it stick and make you see a quicker result is in listening to the recording. So in a session, I record when we start to do the induction. Okay. I don't record at the time when the person is talking about what they are experiencing and why they are there to see me. But I do record once we get ready to go into hypnosis in and of itself. And I record the hypnotic script, which comprises of hypnotic imagery as well as hypnotic suggestions. Okay. So at the end, and the recording typically lasts it's usually about a good maybe 20 minutes, maybe 25-minute long. And I send that to the client, and it's sent with the instruction of listening to that recording be before bed or just when they begin to wake up. Because when you first wake up, you're kind of like between that sleep and awake, that groggy, and your mind is still very receptive of that. So either right before bed or before you, or as soon as you wake up in the morning, to listen to this on a nightly basis. Now, we live in a very busy world. I don't expect for, people to be able to listen to it every single night. I mean, that would be ideal, but if you can't, that's fine. But being able to really listen to this at least anywhere from a good, 4 to 5 sessions, 4 to 5 nights, I would say 4 to 5 nights. And then in doing so, what that happens is that speeds that up. Okay. So without it, it takes anywhere for probably about 4 to 5 sessions before one starts to kind of feel that internal change. Okay. But when you are incorporating listening to the recordings, that may speed that up a little bit more, where you may start to feel an internal change right around your third or fourth session. And then it takes anywhere from 8 to 12 sessions, I said, to see a full transformative experience. So the other thing that I tend to do, and I don't know about, all, hypnotherapists, but to that point that you made about sustaining, okay, and keeping this moving forward, I teach my clients self-hypnosis, okay, because I feel that, I love to see them come back, of course, but I want to teach you to be able to help yourself. Okay. And with that, you can apply that to other things that you are dealing with. On top of that, Now you have a list. Okay. If we say we have 8 sessions, now you have a list of 8 different recordings that I have sent you, okay, that you are able to listen to, so that if you start to feel that you are slipping back into old ways, that you're able to kind of help yourself. On top of that, now you have the tool, okay, to be able to work with in terms of using self hypnosis. So, to answer your question, it's like anything else. Even with traditional therapy, you can get to the point where you can overcome something, but we can all be triggered, and we can be triggered by a number of different things. It can be, we can feel like we're over something, and then all of a sudden we happen to be riding in a car and we hear a song that reminds of us during that time, and it may trigger us a little bit. May not to the extent of it used to had we not have had therapy to learn these different coping skills, but it will kind of make you think about it. Okay. So hypnotherapy is like anything else. It's just like that. The same thing can happen. The important thing is it's not something that typically happens right away. It's usually a while after, even if it does happen at all. But if it does happen, now you have tools in place to be able to help you. Okay. Because hypnotherapy or traditional therapy, it's not saying if you're helping somebody heal from and move past PTSD, okay, and you are looking at, okay, the anxiety that comes along with that, okay. So, from a hypnotherapeutic standpoint, as I'm sure probably from a traditional or a cognitive behavioral therapy standpoint, you are doing what you can to be able to help that person be able to relax that fear and realize, okay, things will come that will make you anxious, but it's how you are able to react to it. Okay. It's being able to accept that and react, and not being so reactive, so triggered by it, because we are going to have things that stress us in life. It's a part of being human. So you're not really getting or moving away or removing anxiety. It's impossible. It's impossible to remove anxiety, but what you do work on is how you are able to relate to it. Okay. Are you able to calm yourself? Because we are all going to have things that are going to stress us from one time or another. It's like I said, it's a part of being human. And hypnotherapy is the same way. We are giving you tools to be able to, when you are stressed, we will put in an anchor, or at least I do. I put in an anchor. So the anchor may look like, okay, whenever you feel stressed, you stop and you take a deep breath automatically. Or whenever you feel stressed, you stop, you take a deep breath, and you may put your hand over your heart. Okay. And building that trigger in, so that whenever that person feels stress, they know automatically, it becomes innate to just, to do that. And then that immediately begins to center them and bring them back into themselves, and allow them to be able to then cope with what is going on in life at that particular time.
Yeah, it's fascinating how, the brain works and how the nerve system works. And I want to commend you for being vulnerable about the experiences you've had with your body and some of the behaviors that you've had. And I think a lot of, especially young people, that struggle with this is going to be really important for them to hear. And my question to you is, you had mentioned when we were talking before we went online that you had different types of hypnosis that you use. Could you share some of those with us, please?
Sure. So there are different scripts. So when you say share in terms of different, do you mean in terms of take you actually like into a hypnotic journey, or do you mean in terms of just talk a little bit about some of the scripts or some of the things that I use, that I will say to help
actually both of those things would be great.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So typically when what I'll do is I'll do something called a progressive relaxation. Okay. So with the progressive relaxation, typically when you are doing the traditional hypnosis, in terms of like my first session, it's about 90 minutes. Okay, so what happens is I have to find out your suggestibility, and I do something called a suggestibility questionnaire. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to do a progressive relaxation, in which I'm going to just kind of do more or less like a group hypnosis. And so I will do that. This will probably take about a good 15 minutes, if your audience is okay with that. About 15 minutes. And we will take you into that. And then I'll do something called a staircase deepener, which will then kind of take you into, down. And here is one thing that I want you to know. We all hear, when we hear the countdown of like the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and deep sleep. Okay. So what that is, when we say deep sleep, actually what it is a trigger for your subconscious. So you are not necessarily deep asleep. Sometimes you are very, very groggy, or you may be in that space of being extremely relaxed. Okay. But it is not a deep sleep. We don't like it to be, actually, because we want you to be able to hear what we are saying and to be able to take and receive what we are saying. So what we'll do, I said, I'll do something on, we'll use a positive in terms of relaxation. And then what I'll do is I will say something with regards to prosperity and abundance. Is that okay with everyone?
Right. We just want to caution our listeners not to do this while they're driving.
No, please don't. Please don't. And I'm so glad you said that, because this is designed to make you tired. So please do not do this when you're driving, and don't do it if you are even going to drive, within a quick time frame. This is only if you are in somewhere where you are really settled. Okay. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to first start to take you doing some breath work and some breathing, and then we will kind of move, through the progressive relaxation. Okay. All right. So I want everyone to just gently close your eyes. And I want you to just breathe in. We're going to breathe in 4 times. First, I'm going to ask you to breathe in for 4 counts. And then I will ask you to hold your breath for 6 counts. And then I'll ask you to exhale out for 8 counts. And we'll do that 4 times. And then after that, we will go into the progressive relaxation, in which I will relax you from your head down to your toes. And then from there, we will go into the staircase deepener, which I will have you to walk down a brightly lit staircase down 20 steps until we get down to 1 and then 0. And then you'll hear me say deep sleep, and I'll snap my fingers. And then at that point, then we will go actually into the actual script itself. Okay. So I want you to breathe in for 4, 3, 2, 1. Holding your breath for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And exhale out at 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now I just want you to just return your breathing back to baseline. And all that means is just returning your breathing back to its normal cadence. And we'll just keep it here just for a couple seconds. Breathing in and out. In and out. In and out. And now breathing in again. At 4, 3, 2, 1. Holding that breath. At 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And exhale out. At 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And returning that breath back to baseline. There we go. Returning your breathing back to baseline. Breathing in and out. And in and out. And then breathing in again. At 4, 3, 2, 1. And holding your breath at 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And exhale out at 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And returning your breathing back to baseline. Right back to baseline. Back to baseline. And breathing in again at 4, 3, 2, 1. Holding that breath at 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Releasing that breath at 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And returning your breathing back to baseline. Very good. Back to baseline. And for the last time, breathing in at 4, 3, 2, 1. Holding that breath for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And exhaling out at 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Very good. And now, I want you to just picture how your breath is connected on the inside. And feel the rhythm of your breath. You are giving yourself permission to allow me to guide you. Now bring your attention to the top of your head and imagine or visualize a beautiful warm light. That light is love and sense of calm and relaxation. Now you allow that relaxation now to deeply calm and wash down your scalp, moving through your temples, your eyelids, and cheeks, allowing you to relax your jaw. And that same sense of calm and peace, it continues to release and relax, allowing it to move down your neck muscles, all the way through your shoulders, softening them along the way. You pay no attention to any other outside sounds except my voice. For these outside sounds, they are merely everyday sounds of life and cannot distract nor disturb you, but will tend to relax you and allow you to go even deeper and deeper into this heavy, deep relaxation. And as you continue to allow this warm, illuminating, welcoming sense of relaxation, you feel it as it continues down your upper arms, down to your elbows, forearms, as it relaxes and releases any tension from your wrists, your hands, and all the way to the tips of your fingers. And as this sense of comforting relaxation continues, you find that it continues to bring calm and peace to your chest area, helping you to open it up along the way, allowing you to get rid of and let go of anything that simply no longer serves you. And so as this illuminating and welcoming relaxation, it does continue down through your solar plexus and your belly area. And you feel it bringing that unwinding and the feeling of letting go. You will notice that your breathing does tend to become very deep, gentle, and rhythmic. And that is because as you breathe in deeply, you are breathing in oxygen and exhaling it out. And with that, the breathing becomes deep, gentle, and rhythmic. And you may just recognize that drowsy, sleepy, somewhat of a daydreaming feeling of relaxation as it takes over, letting go, drifting down deeper and deeper. And as you continue allowing the calm sense of relaxation now moving down through your hips, the pelvis area, releasing any tension, this wonderful feeling of calm continues traveling down your thighs, relaxing all the larger muscles down to the smallest of muscles. You allow this peaceful relaxation to deeply calm your knees, your shins, and your calves. And as this sense of peace continues moving down, find it relaxing your ankles, the heels of each foot, your arches, and it loosens up every single one. of your toes, perhaps maybe even bringing a tingling sensation. And as I count from 10 to 0, each count will represent deep relaxation, and you will feel the body relaxing even more, letting go, going deeper and deeper. And when I reach 0, you will go deep sleep. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Deep sleep. Deep sleep. Each and every time that I do suggest the words deep sleep to you for the purpose of hypnosis, and always with your permission, you will enter this state of hypnosis very quickly, calmly, and deeply. And you will find that your physical body will relax. And now I want you to simply imagine or visualize that you are standing at the top of a beautifully well lit staircase. Now, this staircase has very strong and sturdy handrails, very smooth, and it has 20 steps that lead down to a safe, relaxing, and welcoming bottom landing. In fact, you already have a sense of knowing that with each step down, you will deepen your state of hypnosis and more deeply relax and let go. So now, in your mind's eye, you step down with your left foot at 19 and your right at 18, allowing yourself to go twice as deep at 17 and 16, feeling yourself deeply relax, feeling safe, feeling calm at 15, 14, 13, going even deeper at 12, 11, 10, letting go at 9, 8, twice as deep at 7, 6, 5, deeper still at 4, feeling safe and welcome at 3, 2, 1, 0, deep sleep. And once again, each and every time I suggest the words deep sleep to you for the purpose of hypnosis, and always with your permission, you will enter this state of hypnosis quickly, calmly, and deeply, and you will feel your body relax. Now we begin by bringing awareness to that breath again, not changing it, just noticing it. Now allow gratitude to rise naturally. Gratitude for being here. Gratitude for breathing. Gratitude just for being in this space and arriving effortlessly. Gratitude for the life force that animates you, supports you, and ultimately moves through you. There is gratitude for every experience that shaped you, even the ones that strengthen discernment, boundaries, and clarity. Gratitude for resources already present in your life, seen and unseen, received and on their way. As gratitude expands, your body softens, the nervous system settles, the mind becomes receptive. Gratitude opens the door. Now imagine or visualize yourself standing in a wide open landscape. The ground beneath you is solid, supportive, and steady. You are rooted, yet you are free. Now notice the air around you. It is rich with possibility, charged with that creative energy. With every breath in, you draw ease. And with every breath out, you release urgency. Ahead of you, imagine a steady flow, like a gentle river of opportunity. It moves calmly, consistently, abundantly. It never rushes. It never runs dry. You notice that this flow responds to your presence. As you step closer, it welcomes you. This flow represents prosperity in its purest form. Supportive, ethical, expansive, and most of all, aligned. You do not need to chase it. You simply allow yourself to receive it. And now, as we move on to embodying the identity of abundance, I want you to see yourself fully living in financial ease. See how you move through your day. Notice your posture. See how it's upright. You feel relaxed, confident. Your decisions come from clarity, not at all from pressure. Your choices are guided by alignment. It's not fear or even fear-based. You trust your ability to allow creativity in the universe to create, allow you to receive and sustain prosperity. There's no rush here. There's nothing to prove. There's no overextending, because abundance simply feels normal to your body. It just is. From this moment forward, your subconscious aligns with abundance as safety. From this moment forward, your subconscious aligns with abundance as safety. From this moment forward, your subconscious aligns with abundance as safety. You are comfortable receiving wealth in all its forms, in ways that feel clean, calm, and sustainable. Financial means flows through you, feeling meaningful, ethical, and fulfilling channels. You trust yourself with prosperity because prosperity trusts you. You no longer associate success with stress. You don't even associate wealth anymore with sacrifice. Your nervous system remains regulated as income increases. You make decisions from self-worth, not scarcity. You receive opportunities with openness and discernment. You are comfortable with receiving wealth in all ways that it feels clean, calm, and sustainable. Financial abundance flows to you through meaningful, ethical, and fulfilling channels. You trust yourself with prosperity because prosperity trusts you. Financial abundance flows through you once again through meaningful, ethical, and fulfilling channels. You no longer associate success with stress. You no longer associate financial wealth blessings with sacrifice. Your nervous system remains regulated as income increases. You make decisions from self-worth, not from a space of scarcity. You receive opportunities with openness, yet discernment. Every day, you become more comfortable with ease, more familiar and expecting of overflow, more grounded in stability. Every day, you become more comfortable with ease, more familiar and expectant of overflow, more grounded in stability as you receive your blessings. You make the decision from here on out from self-worth, not from a scarcity mindset. You receive opportunities with openness, yet discernment. And every day you become more comfortable with ease because you are familiar and expectant of overflow. You are more grounded in stability And now receive your blessings. Abundance is no longer something that you hope for. It is something that you know is already here. It is something that you already expect. Abundance is no longer something that you hope for. It is something that you know is already here. You think of it as already happening. You think from a space of expectancy. It has already happened. It is already here. You're already living in your expectancy place. Now all allow this sense of prosperity. Just allow it to settle and permeate into the body. It integrates into your breath, your posture, your nervous system. You carry this state with you into conversations, into decisions, into your everyday daily life. You move forward, supported, resourced, and most of all, aligned. You carry this state with you into conversations, decisions, and your daily life. You move forward feeling supported, resourced, and aligned. What you need meets you. What you desire responds to you. What you create multiplies naturally. You just have to believe it. Seek and you shall find. Ask and doors will be opened. I will now count up from 1 to 10. And when I reach 10, you will be back in your home, back feeling comfortable. Coming up at 1, 2, 3, 4, bringing your breathing back into your conscious state. Coming up, 5, 6, 7, 8, bringing back everything that was placed within you. Bringing up at 9, and finally 10. Eyes open, wide awake. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Eyes open, wide awake. Eyes open. Okay, and now we're back.
Thank you so much. I'm kind of back.
So now you understand why you were right in saying don't do this. We'll listen to this while driving.
That was really amazing. I could feel like when you were doing the light, I could feel it kind of just tingling on my head and going through and really deeply relaxing. And your voice is so beautiful to listen to. And I just felt myself going deep. And so I'm going to listen to it again.
Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I really am. And the tingling and kind of the in and out, that's the hypnosis that you're feeling. And I'm so glad that each of you were able to experience this, because that goes to the point that it's not scary. It's really not scary. You know, we actually go in and out of hypnosis every day, but we normally don't realize it. You know, for example, if you're, and this is something I think we probably all can relate to, if you've ever watched a show on TV, you may be enthralled in the show, and say someone comes into the room, may call your name, and you may not hear them the first time because your attention is on what you are watching. That's a form of hypnosis. The only difference between that and this is that my voice happened to be what you were focusing on. So it is not scary at all. In fact, it is very relaxing. I would love to hear how the rest of you thought and felt.
Yeah, so right before you just said that, my comment was that it was such a safe place. I really did feel like I was in a safe place as I went through that, and that was able to even let go enough to just be totally immersed in the experience. But that is exactly what I felt. I felt like I was in a totally safe place with you. So that was amazing. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Very welcome.
Yeah, it was pretty, it's really hard for me. I've never been able to go into hypnosis before. I have this whatever that like blocks it, but this is the closest I've ever really come to completely like losing in my critical thinking. And or critical mind. Not I don't ever want to lose my critical thinking.
Right.
It's nice to have the mind, take a little bit of a break. And I'm really excited you did this, because I am going to do this again, because now we have it on the podcast and I'll be able to do it more often. And the whole, like, I loved your approach to the not in scarcity, because it is so hard to shift that,
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
It is. It is so hard sometimes to know that you have like bills that you have to take into consideration. And it's like, oh my goodness, I have all this that I have to do. And how am I going to do this? But yet I know that I want to bring more abundance and, prosperity like into my life. Like, how do I do that when in the natural, everything seems to be like for many of us, kind of like to the penny, and day to day, but what happens is, and it's so hard, but you have to really think of it that everything that you want, it's already happened. You have to believe and think in it now. And I know that's difficult because it's like you see the natural, but it's like, okay, but yet I have to have this foresight to be able to think now, because what happens is what you ask for, you will receive. But you have to be able to believe that even in the face of things testing you. And we're all tested every single day. Okay. So even in the midst of these tests, you still have to believe that, okay, this is here, this is coming. And in doing that, then that brings it into in terms of our world or in our vicinity or into the tangible space where you can see it. But it's already there. But it takes belief, it takes faith in knowing that it's coming no matter what you see. It is coming. It is here. It is on its way. It's not years and light years away. It's now. You have to think in that mindset of now. And yes, eliminating that scarcity mindset. The one thing I love about this is that I love to daydream. So if you like to daydream, this is the perfect place to daydream, just daydreaming that everything that you want is already here and that you are living this. Daydream about that perfect vacation that you want to go on. Daydream that you're already there. Daydream that you have a business that you started and you want to go to a certain level. Daydream that you're already in that level. You're already helping other people. You're already doing those things, and those things will come. They will come.
And isn't that the state of gratitude too, where if you are grateful,
yes, and being grateful for what you already have. because it does change and raise that frequency of being grateful for what you already have and being thankful because, you know, as some of us always think that, okay, things may not be as good. There's always someone who has it worse off than what you do, you know? And so it's kind of like really being appreciative. And many times in the times that you consider as struggles, there's preparation in that, okay, of preparing you for what you are to receive. But many times you have to be prepared in order to be able to not only expect that, but be able to manage that before it's given. It's like, you know, much is given, you know, you also have to be able to deal with that as well. That's going to come along with that. Okay. So in the space that you are, be grateful because it's preparation time, preparing you to receive what you want to receive. That's also a really good way to look at it. You know, it's in the waiting that the work is done.
Yeah, that goes to the grounding, like you said. I mean, that's the grounding part.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
It's the daydreaming and then grounding it into physical. Yeah. That's wonderful.
That's it. Yes, that's it. Absolutely.
And as everybody needs this, and this needs to get out to everybody, tell our listeners again where they can keep in contact with you or seek out your services.
Sure. I am at my website is www.321deepsleep.com. And on my contact page there, you can reach out to me and I'll be able to get back to you. Also, my email is Kisha, Kis, as in Sam, HA, at 321deepsleep.com.
Fantastic. And we'll add the links down below to this video and all of our platforms so you can easily find her and get in touch with her. Thank you so much for today. And thank you
absolutely.
For the beautiful hypnosis. It was a wonderful, wonderful conversation.
Oh, thank you. Okay, I appreciate it. It was a pleasure meeting all of you.
Thank you. And if you've liked this conversation as much as we have, please like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, how is your intuition leading you to the next perfect step?